When you hear the music like Bohemian Rhapsody or We Are the Champions, we automatically go, Radio GaGa, and remember the great Freddie Mercury. The Queen had helped the rock and roll music and pushed it to the next level with their theatrical rock-style energy. As we all know, Queen begins and ends with Freddie Mercury. He embodied the band's identity, its triumphs, and defeat. Get ready, fasten your seatbelts as we go back to the past and ride this time machine. Let's witness the life story of the true Queen. Who's Farrokh Bulsara? Farrokh Bulsara is Freddie Mercury's real name. He was born in 1946 in Zanzibar to Parsi-Indian parents. He attended English-style boarding schools in India from the age of 8 and returned to Zanzibar after secondary school. In 1964, his family fled the Zanzibar Revolution, moving to Middlesex, England. When Farrokh was 8, the Bulsaras sent him to St. Peter's Church of England School in Panchgani, India. Located 150 miles from Mumbai, St. Peter's had been regarded for years as the best boys' boarding school in that part of the world. Farrokh arrived as a terribly shy boy, self-conscious about the prominent upper teeth that immediately earned him the nickname Bucky. He would remain sensitive about his teeth for the rest of his life, covering his mouth with his hand whenever he smiled. At the same time, he realized that the pronounced overbite caused by 4 extra teeth at the back of his mouth may have been his greatest blessing, giving his voice its distinctive, resonant embouchure. The origin of Freddie. When some school teachers began calling him Freddie as an affectionate term, he seized the name instantly and started using Freddie for people to easily recognize and remember his name. He also cultivated his own tastes. Freddie's family had steeped him in opera, but he was also developing a love for Western pop sounds, most especially the boisterous piano-based rock and roll of Little Richard and the virtuosic R&B of Fats Domino. After Freddie's aunt Shiru noted that he could hear a tune once, then sit down at the piano and play it, his parents paid for a private music tuition. Forming the band. The origins of Queen lay in the hard rock psychedelic group Smile, which guitarist Brian May and drummer Roger Taylor joined in 1967. Following the departure of Smile's lead vocalist Tim Staffel in 1971, May and Taylor formed a group with Freddie Mercury, the former lead singer, for Wreckage. Within a few months, bassist John Deacon joined them and they began rehearsing. Over the next 2 years, as all 4 members completed college, they simply rehearsed, playing just a handful of gigs. By 1973, they had begun to concentrate on their career, releasing their debut album, Queen, that year and setting out on their first tour. The making of the song that stirred up the musical industry. Queen's epic rock hit Bohemian Rhapsody began life sometime in the 1960s when Freddie Mercury was a student at Ealing Art College, starting out as a few ideas for a song scribbled on scraps of paper. Freddie showed Brian May his work and pounding on the piano and played the piano like most people play the drums. Initially, the song he had was full of gaps, where he would explain that something operatic would happen here, and so on. He'd worked out the harmonies in his head. Queen first properly rehearsed Bohemian Rhapsody at Ridge Farm Studio in Shrey in mid-1975, and then spent 3 weeks honing the song at Penrose Court in Herefordshire. By the summer, they were ready to record it. Taping began on the 24th of August 1975 at the famous Rock Hill Studios in Monmouth, Wales. It was a moment that May described as just the biggest thrill. When Bohemian Rhapsody was done, the band wanted it to be A Night at the Opera's first single. Queen's manager at the time, John Reid, had doubts and said that it would never happen without the 6-minute-long track being edited. Deacon felt the same way, but Taylor and May shared Mercury's resolve. Whatever doubts remained were dispelled when Mercury and Taylor played the finished recording for BBC DJ Kenny Everett. Everett told the doubters that the piece could be half an hour long and it's going to be #1 for centuries. As it developed, Bohemian Rhapsody became Queen's first #1 British single and it hit the top 10 charts in America. In the years since, the song has routinely headed British lists of all-time best and worst singles. That never daunted Mercury. A lot of people slammed Bohemian Rhapsody, but no song could ever compare it to. The criticisms never let him down for long. Queen's accomplishments came as a wonder to nearly everybody. They seem to have run their course. After the epic 1975 album, A Night at the Opera, they have piled up hit after hit in a stylistically diverse range, from Baroque pop to hard rock, disco, rockabilly, and funk. Then, by the mid-1980s, their fates had shifted, in part because many fans had trouble accepting Mercury's perceived homosexuality. After a mind-stopping error of judgment in 1984, when Queen elected to play a series of shows in apartheid South Africa, the band appeared to be prized even in its native England. But then, after the Live Aid performance, which exemplified everything extraordinary about Queen, their scope, their virtuosity, the command of a stage, all anybody wanted was more. The death and legacy. On November 24th, 1991, the greatest lead singers in the history of rock music made his end at age 45 due to complications from AIDS. Having been diagnosed in 1987, he confirmed that he had contracted the disease a day before his death. Along with his death, strives the legacy he'd made, posthumously featured on the band's final album, Made in Heaven, 1995. In 1992, his tribute concert was held at Wembley Stadium. Awards and multiple recognitions was given to him, honoring his great contribution for the world of rock and roll and the music industry as a whole. Years after his death, his career with Queen was dramatized in the 2018 biopic Bohemian Rhapsody, starred by Rami Malek under production of 20th Century Fox, inspiring younger generations, making Freddie Mercury's legacy reach wider audience. And one of his greatest quotes was, "You can be anything you want to be. Just turn yourself into anything you think that you could ever be." Freddie Mercury. Rest in peace. It's nice to get to know Freddie Mercury more. Now that you have the knowledge of the origins of Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody, share with your friends and let them know. Did we miss some of the highlights on Freddie Mercury's life and legacy? Tell us your thoughts on his contribution to the music industry. Let us know down in the comments which track is the most memorable and how it struck you. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe for more daily content. Don't forget to ring the bell to receive notifications of when a new video releases. This has been Music Chess, signing out.